Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm hanging in there. How about yourself?
Same. This is some unprecedented shit right
It
now.
really is. It really
Whew.
is.
Thank you for doing this today with me. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been a huge fan, so this is a huge opportunity for me and just
Thanks.
really awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I see your After Laughter vinyl in the back.
Yes, ma'am. That
That's
was
so
for my
cool.
birthday.
I love it.
It's that nice, pretty pink one, you know?
Yes. Oh, that was my favorite edition that we did. I love colored vinyl. I collect that stuff too.
It's really cool. So, big thanks again for hanging out with us. And I know
Yeah.
that a lot of what you post every day on Twitter has a lot to do with your mental health. And I
Yeah.
think that that aspect of what you're doing is so important for everybody, especially that you've got so many followers and mental health kind of has that stigma with it. But how's your quarantine life treating you?
It's been every day is like a roller coaster. I mean, honestly, I feel like I'll wake up and kind of like, especially if the sun is shining through my windows, I'm like, okay, I can do this. I'm going to get up. I'm going to make breakfast. I'm going to work out. Like, and I'll have these big ideas about how I can keep myself on track. But I mean, sometimes before I even get downstairs, because I live in the little attic part of my home, like before I can even get to the kettle to heat it up, I'll already sort of be battling like, I don't know, just some heavy thoughts about what all of this means and, wishing I could be with my friends. Or I swear I FaceTime, one, if not more of my friends every day. And I think that's probably been the most helpful thing.
So yeah, like walk us through a day. So you make tea. I've seen that you do online therapy as well.
Yeah,
Like
I
that's
do.
really helpful. So like, what is your pretty much daily routine in
Oh,
your new abnormal?
yeah, right. I the routines, the parts of the routine that stick are waking up and making tea. It kind of started because like prior to all of this quarantining that we've got going on, I went to a couple of these like tea ceremonies that were in town with a local tea company. And it's just sort of meditative and quiet, and it was all women that I've either know or just gotten to know. And it was really nice. Like it was actually just so chill and felt so tribal and like I don't know, it felt sacred, like a sacred moment or space to take up. And so I try to recreate that for myself, which I think to sort of translate that into everyone or anyone's life, I think it's really just about waking up and finding one thing that is yours that you can quiet down and shut your mind off, maybe just breathe, like breathe through the first, like ease into the day, right? So I put on some music like Sufjan Stevens or something that's chill. I drink my tea. I try not to look at the phone too much and just be with myself and breathe through any thoughts that I have. And like I said, some days are easier than others. Some days I do some yoga, or like I'll have things like this where it's like a little window of time that's for work. And yeah.
To get into the music, we've watched you grow, we've watched you bloom, and now you're like blossoming with your Petals for Armor coming out. That's so cool that you've released 8 songs so far.
Mhm.
Do you know when you're releasing the next one?
I do. Might be tomorrow. I'm putting out actually, so by next week, the rest of part 2 will be out. But then we still have an entire third part that is 5 more songs
Wow.
that will come out, when the album drops. And especially after the song that I'll release tomorrow, the album starts to open up into things that feel a little less dark, honestly. Like it kind of opens up into some hopefulness and maybe just tackles some of my fears in um, a more optimistic way, or a more what's the right word, like defiant way that's not so overtaken.
Right.
I'm excited to get there. Like the whole idea was to release Simmer and all of these heavier, you know like concepts in the winter when it was dark and bleak outside, and for part 2 to sort of be representative, like a representation of that time where we wait, in the spring, like before spring really happens. And then part 3 was meant to come at spring, summertime, you
That's
know.
really cool. So it was very well thought out. And
Yeah.
I did have a question from Satinka. She wanted to know, with your cinnamon video and then you're over it, have you had formal dance training? She kind of wanted to know that.
Formal is maybe not the right word for it, but I did dance from the time. I mean, my mom was a ballerina, so I feel like I grew up kind of influenced by her passion for ballet and modern jazz. But by the time I was like 10 or 11, I really took an interest in hip hop. There were artists like Missy Elliott that were huge, you know, putting out some of their best work. And then you had also like all the pop groups like NSYNC doing like major choreography, Usher doing like Aaliyah. And I lived in Mississippi at the time. This was right before I moved to Nashville. And I got really interested in dancing. By the time we moved to Nashville, I found a couple of classes. And the reason that I quit is because I got so serious about writing music once I met the guys and we started Paramore. I just didn't really, it sort of overshadowed the dancing, the stuff that I loved about dancing. And I was able to express in this new way. So it had been about 15 years since I last danced.
Wow. Well, you wouldn't be able to tell. I have 2 left feet, so I can't dance at all.
I mean, I was just really grateful that Tavares, the choreographer, who's like a legend in that whole world, he was very gracious with me, very patient.
That's awesome. And over yet, you put out a workout video with that.
Yeah.
And to kind of go back on the dancing thing, I did jazz dance too.
Oh,
to me, it has like that Janet Jackson feel during that breakdown.
Yeah.
I love it. And
thank you.
Just seeing you dance or even just show us that workout. I mean, I have yet to do it because I'm too lazy, but I like to watch you work out. That sounds kind of creepy. But yeah, no, it was really fun and it was really awesome. And I know some jerk on Twitter or on the YouTube comments kind of ruined that for you, but I know from reading through all the other comments, I mean, that one should just go away. Everybody loves you.
It's so funny that one comment can like stick out so much among a sea of really sweet and thoughtful things. But I think I felt like sticking up when I called that out or pointed that out. I felt like sticking up for people I've seen on the internet who aren't really believed for their struggles, you know, and I think that mental health, like battles with different forms of mental health issues, looks different for everybody. Like depression for somebody may not necessarily look like laying in bed all day. For another person, they may look totally fine, and you would maybe judge that their life is put together, but it's not. But yeah, I'm happy that you liked that. I love that people are trying it at home. Janet Jackson was a major influence for that song and others to come on songs to come, which is so funny considering where musically where I'm come from.
I mean, music can come from all sorts of inspirations. Back in the day when I was doing my scene thing, I was like only into this little box of music, or I would only admit to that small.
Yes.
But as you get older, you're just like, I love country, I love oldies, I love rock and roll, R&B. So like, I think all music can influence, and I mean, you've written a gamut of different types of songs, and each one has its own special meaning to each individual, I think. For me, anyway, when I listen to certain songs, I can apply my life to that song, and especially with Simmer.
That.
Yeah, Simmer. I cried when I first heard Simmer. I cried.
Oh, man. Yeah. I hope it was a good release. A good cry.
It was. And I love the play on words with Simmersy. Simmer with mercy at the end?
Yeah,
I caught that.
Honestly, that was like a very happy accident. You know, I love that song so much. I feel like I owe a lot to that song. It like broke ground for me so I could talk about other things. But it means a lot that it affected you in an emotional way. I love that.
Yeah, and I love the way that you're bringing the bass into a lot of the songs as more of a melody instead of like...
Yeah.
I love all of that. So with Leave It Alone...
Joey he's brilliant. This is his first real project that he was a writer on, and I think that he knows no bounds because he has no formula. He's like he's got this beautiful raw talent that he's honing in on, and it's on display beautifully, I think, throughout the whole record. I'm really proud of him. Joey and I, obviously, like, he's toured with Paramore for so long that we're just really close, and that was a bit more effortless. But like, meeting Steph was, I think, kismet, and being able to write with Daniel James, who's another friend from Nashville. He has a band called Cannon Blue. Like, that was like really a big deal to me because I look up to him so much as a writer. So I had a great time. I still pinch myself that all these talented people are involved, and still my bandmates are involved. That's so cool to me.
I love that all. And you've just been an inspiration to me. I'm a little bit older than you. I grew up in a house full of girls, and my sister introduced me to All We Know Is Falling. And I watched you through that. And it's funny because before I even knew I was going to do this interview, I don't know if you saw the Getty Museum was recreating artwork. They were having people recreate art with things in their house. So really? I did a challenge where I recreated an album cover with things in my house.
Yes.
And I did electrical tape on my face.
Really?
Yes. And I posted this like a week ago maybe, and
did I see that? Did I like that? Okay. First of all, your wet hair is perfect. That look is great on you. But also electrical tape. That's so clever.
Yeah. I was going to paint on my face, but I thought the challenge was to recreate an album cover with something in your house. So I was like, let's go electrical tape. So thought you might get a kick out of that. But we did that here at the station, and you just inspire a lot of people.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
So as far as the future goes, after this whole thing is over, what is next for Hayley Williams?
Oh, Lord. I really want to play these songs live, man. I was like so excited to go out this spring, summer and play smaller venues, because it's been a long time since Paramore's done clubs or theater sized rooms. We always try to like start every album cycle a little smaller so we can feel like it's a little bit more intimate. We can warm up into the, amphitheaters or whatnot. But this was going to be a major underplay for me. And I was so excited because it's just it's so sweaty and uncomfortable in all the best ways. Now we can't even be 6 feet, we can't be close to one another. So I'm mourning that a little bit. I'm grieving this, the possibility of not being able to do that type of tour and maybe having to plan something else. But yeah, eventually play these songs live, hopefully make more music and make another Paramore record and just go to dinner with my friends as much as possible when this is over.
That's one thing I took for granted. I was always canceling plans because I have anxiety. So I'd be like, maybe I can't come. But now I'm regretting that.
Yeah, no shame though. I get that. I always used to say there's nothing better than a canceled plan because it just feels so relieving. But yeah, I think a lot of us introverts are kind of having the same regrets right now. But that's okay. We'll get the chance again.
And then what about Parahoy? Any plans for that in the future?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we haven't logistically planned it out, gotten the dates or any of that. But I mean, it's just part of what we do now. So when it's time for Paramore to be back on, that'll undoubtedly be something that'll be in the plans too. That is such a special time with us and the people that have supported the band for the longest. It's just I feel like we come back from those trips floating, and especially the last one with After Laughter. That was my favorite.
Yeah, I was saving up money to go, but I couldn't go. But that's okay.
Oh, no, you have to come next time.
And I watched videos, and it was really cool. So I know we love watching YouTube videos of you all the time. I love that you're active in that sense as well. So, keep it up with that. Everybody's loving it, including your new hair color with that peach fuzz.
Yeah.
I like Tegan and Sarah cover.
Oh, thank you so much. I think I'm gonna dye. I've tried to get the peach out of my hair pretty quick so I can use another one of the new pastel colors that we're coming out with. So I might be dyeing my hair again pretty soon. But yeah, I mean, just trying to stay connected to people. I'm thankful I used to really hate on Instagram. I'm thankful for it now.
Yeah, well, I thank you for joining us today. Huge fan. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
You're
Thanks
welcome.
for supporting the song and me and Paramore. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. You take care.
Yeah, you too. See you later.